This is Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Telecom Reseller, and I want to welcome everyone back to our podcast series. And I'm very happy to have with us again Sean Breeden of SkySwitch. Sean, thank you for joining me today.
Hey, Doug, thank you. Thank for having me. I'm excited to be back.
Well, I think everybody's been looking at the SkySwitch. It seems like everyone's been looking at the SkySwitch blog that we recently posted. We're talking about white labeling and the whole issue of becoming a white label VoIP reseller. Today's topic is going to be how to become a white label VoIP reseller. But before we dive into that, Sean, could you just tell us real quick, what is SkySwitch?
Yeah, sure, Doug. So SkySwitch is a private label hosted PBX, SIP trunking, and unified communication solution. Basically, we do business with MSPs, IT companies, VARs becoming IT integrators, WISPs, ISPs, really anyone that's looking to offer dial tone. And they'll partner up with us and offer these services under their own branded name. So they're basically leveraging SkySwitch for all the carrier services and data centers and the infrastructure we've built on the back end, and then they're going out and they're selling it to their customers as their own on the front end.
So before we figure out how to become a white label VoIP reseller, what is a white label VoIP reseller, and why should I even do it?
Yeah, sure. So, there's many different models that are out there today that'll enable you to bring voice to into your customer. One of the most popular ones tends to be an agent model, meaning that you're reselling somebody else's services. So, there's a lot of companies out there that you can resell their service, and then they'll pay you a residual. They'll pay you a commission based on whatever you're selling. And for some people, that's perfectly fine if they just want to go out there and just sell services and get paid that commission. That might be a good thing. For others, they're looking to build on their voice business, and they're looking for a little bit more control, meaning they want to own their customer base. They want to build a monthly recurring revenue instead of receiving a commission. They want to increase their profitability. And if that's the case, then they start looking into options when it comes to from a private label standpoint. We might come into play what they're looking for. That might be some of the things that you're looking for as a company, and would want to partner up with us.
And one of the things that you've started opening up this topic about stability. We all know that in an instant, you can wake up one morning and all of a sudden some company's been bought, something's disappeared, all your relationships or all your assumptions are sort of out the window. Is this also sort of one of the advantages of going down this road of white labeling?
Yes, 100%. So to me, one of the biggest benefit is customer ownership. So in our world, you own the contract, you own the customer. The customer signs direct contracts with you. You dictate the longevity of those agreements. So, your customers could come on board with you for 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, month to month. But at the end of the day, that customer signing the piece of paper with your name on it, you own them. So that gives you the control that I would think you would want as an organization. Where in a lot of other relationships, if you're being paid a commission and then that all of a sudden that company is acquired, and maybe the company the parent company that just made that acquisition now decides that they want to cut commissions. Well, now if you were just making 20% commissions on a monthly basis and they decide to cap it at 10, now you're being paid 10% commissions. So as you can see, there's really not a lot of control there. You're at the mercy of whoever the provider is. Where in the private label world, not only do you own the customer, we bill you in a wholesale manner, and then you're dictating retail. So we're not paying commissions. You're making a difference. You're making a difference between cost of goods to whatever you dictate retail is. And then on average, our partners tend to make around 50 to 70 plus points of margin. So big difference there from a commission-based model to a monthly recurring-based model where you control your profitability.
Okay, so let's say I've decided I want to at least consider this, look into it. First of all, am I ready? In other words, are there barriers to entry?
Yeah, great question. So yeah, I like to always say there's some small hurdles that you would have to climb. So first things first is there would be an upfront cost, which tends to range anywhere between $1,000 or $1,500. Those costs are associated with building the portal, onboarding the partner, training the partner, but we actually give that we'll refund that in full as long as the partner is able to bring on 100 endpoints within the first 12 months of becoming a partner. So I always like to kind of kid around and say really there's no upfronts assuming you're able to bring on 100 endpoints within a year, which I'd like to think if you're getting into that business that should be a pretty easy goal to achieve. So once you if you as long as you're able to surpass 100 endpoints within the first 12 months, we'll fully refund you any upfront money spent. So I guess that you could consider that a small barrier entry. And then last but not least, we have a small minimum. It's $500, which we basically give you a 5-month ramp. So the first 5 months there's zero, and then month 6 would start a minimum of $500. That minimum basically equates to about 40 to 50 endpoints. So again, as long as you can bring on 40 or 50 endpoints within a 5 or 6 month period, you'll be over that minimum. It'll be in your rear view mirror. So essentially, once you're above the minimum, it's in your rear view mirror. You don't have it anymore. So they're really the only two small barrier entries per se of getting into the business with SkySwitch.
So, Sean, let's suppose my practice as an MSP or channel partner, really is not voice focused. Maybe it's every now and then I sell it or I bring in some guy to sell it or whatever. Do I have to be voice focused to do this?
No, no, not at all. So I would say a majority of our partners are actually MSPs, and it's companies that are looking to round out their portfolio because one, they see they're looking to add an additional revenue stream into their portfolio, or they're starting to get demand for voice from their customers. So their customer, they just sit down on maybe a Friday after a long week and they say, I've had 4 or 5 people ask me for voice over the last week. I don't know why I'm not selling voice myself. I mean, it's running over the network. Nowadays with as stable and as robust as the networks are, and voice taking up such small bandwidth, adding that onto the current network is pretty easy to do. So you can either VLAN that voice and data, you can segment that voice and data, but the data guys already are pretty are aware of how the network runs. So adding voice, layering voice on top of a current network is usually pretty easy to do. So yeah, you definitely do not have to be in to have a lot of voice experience to get into this. Really, you probably don't have that much at all. I mean, our portal is very easy to navigate. I always say as long as you can, click and if you can drag and drop, if you can click on radio buttons and click on a drop down button, that's about as much sophistication that goes into it. As you know, most of these GUIs today they're very easy to navigate and they're very intuitive. So yeah, definitely do not need much voice experience to get into business, as long as you have an addressable audience or demand.
Let's stay with that because I think you're now starting to talk about the onboarding process. So, just how does that work?
Yeah, yeah, great question. So I think that's one thing that really separates us apart from a lot of our competitors is our onboarding and training. So we do have a team of onboarding professionals that consists of 6 people, and they will when a new partner comes on board, they're associated with one of our onboarding specialists, and then they'll basically walk them through our whole ecosystem. So they'll make sure that they're trained on every piece of our ecosystem. So by the time that they're ready to go to market, they're well acclimated with everything. Once that they are move on from onboarding, and then you have our whole support on the back end. So from a support standpoint, our partners handle level 1. So what does that consist of? It basically consists of walking your customers through the 6, 7 steps of level 1 troubleshooting. SkySwitch will handle tier 2 and tier 3. So if our partner is having an issue and they need to contact us directly, we're available from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then we have somebody on call 24/7.
Sean, as we close up our brief podcast today, could you give me sort of a big view? What does it look like? I sign up with you, I go through the onboarding process. What does it really mean to my business over the medium and long term?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to, uh, you know, uh, increase your book value when it comes to ownership of your business, and you want to own your customer base, you're looking to build a monthly recurring revenue, you're looking to increase profitability, I would say that this model might be great for you. We see a lot of companies today going out there and selling their business when they get to a certain point. When you're selling your business and you own your customer base, that makes it a lot more attractive than trying to sell a book of business from an agent model standpoint, where, you know, yeah, you may have sold 100 deals, but those 100 deals, 50 are on one platform and you got 50 on another platform. Having it nice, neat, wrapped under one platform under your control with contracts that you controlled and set up, makes it a lot more attractive in the long run.
So, Sean, I really want to thank you for joining me to this. It's been very interesting. I'm happy that we were able to do a podcast sort of about the blog you guys just posted that everyone seemed to be so interested. Where can we learn more?
Yeah, thanks again for having me, Doug. It was a great time as always. You can learn more about SkySwitch at skyswitch.com. And if you'd like to contact us by email, you can email us at salesteam@skyswitch.com.
Well, Sean, I'm looking forward to the next one. I know it'll be just as interesting, but thank you very much indeed.
Thanks again.